Hello.
Hey, this is Sergeant Tubb with the Summit County Sheriff's Office. Is this Jared?
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling
Hey,
me back.
Yeah, of course. What can we do for you?
What's the latest on this child abduction attempt?
I actually haven't heard any updates. I know it's active to our investigators. I don't know that any headway's been made though.
Okay. I expect, officer, that we will see more and more of this, and people will begin to get used to it. What do you think?
As far as what specifically, just kind of the
Well,
context?
it's just like, look at Texas. All of a sudden, Greg Abbott, the big Texas governor, is going to get tough on the Venezuelan cartel, but the Mexican cartels have been having their way with him for 20 years. It's an election year, so that's probably something to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly possible. I don't know that there's any reason to believe that had anything to do with this situation. I'm not an investigator, so to be real honest with you, Jared, I'm pretty out of the loop on this case. I wasn't on when it happened, and I'm not in our investigations division, so I really don't know too much about it.
Gotcha. Would that same investigator know what went down with that big cartel party back in May?
I don't know that it's the same investigator. I mean, we have eight maybe full-time investigators, so it's possible that just by the luck of the draw, it's the same investigator. But they would probably know a little bit more about it than I would. But yeah, I don't know if it's the same person investigating the attempted kidnapping that did the investigation on the shooting out in Peoa.
Gotcha. Do you think the average American man out there is more afraid of foreign invaders or the local district attorney?
Speaking about residents in Summit County, or
Well,
more broadly, just general public?
It's kind of an American thing. I mean, there's a lot of tough talk and bravado, and there's a lot of veterans out there. But at the end of the day,
Sure.
I think a lot of men are afraid to defend themselves because they don't want to end up like the January Sixers and everybody else before them that goes to prison every day. Look at Denver.
Yeah, no,
Denver's... yeah, go ahead. I'll let you talk.
I was just going to say, yeah, I don't disagree. There certainly is probably at least some segment of the population that has that in their minds. I don't know if it's any more or less, here in Summit County as opposed to anywhere else. I'm not sure on that.
Do you know if there's any? Well, probably not. People just look the other way, and it's nuts. I mean, do you live in Summit County, officer?
No, I don't. I live down in Salt Lake County.
All right. Well, it's going to eventually... cartels do like to hang out in rural areas. That's not a... Well, they're everywhere, but, what anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, there's certainly... There's certainly an influx of that. I don't think anyone would argue that point. There's certainly an influx of that in the country. Again, I don't know. I don't have any personal knowledge that that's what this incident is or was. If it was, I'm sure that is being investigated. But I don't have anything, at least again in my own personal knowledge, to suspect that or indicate that.
Okay. What would you personally recommend people do?
Do in which situation?
Well, we've been watching government pretend to care about this issue for 20 and 30 years, maybe even 50 years. It's just a joke. I mean, it's a Trojan horse, but it seems like every Republican and Democrat administration is in on the joke, part of the Trojan horse. And eventually, people will either have to defend their own communities or just submit. And, yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that the political landscape is certainly something that's ever changing. But when it comes to personal safety, that's going to be a decision that the individual is going to have to make. I can't make that for them.
Right. Well, I guess back to the prosecutor thing. If the people knew that the police were on their side, they wouldn't be as afraid to act in defense of their family and homeland.
Right, yeah.
Because without the police, the prosecutor is just a short, fat, out of shape guy most of the time that wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, no, I think at least I can speak at least for Summit County. The police and the prosecution's office are two separate paths. We each have our own jobs. Obviously, as law enforcement, we have to support and defend the Constitution, and that's the judicial system and really the criminal justice system as a whole. Yeah, I agree with you. There's definitely an ever-changing political landscape that everyone's just hopefully got to navigate for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really agree with you on the Constitution thing. That hasn't been in effect in 150 years. Nobody owns their land. You got to have a permission slip to carry a gun in defense of everything God gave you. And we're taxed at 60-70%. That's... And even as a matter of constitutionality, you read the 14th Amendment, and there's nothing there that I want to claim as an American.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully, I don't know, maybe one day you or I can get elected into some other capacity where, we can change things to the way we'd like to see them. But suppose until then, I don't know what there is to do.
Yeah, well, you guys gotta start saying no after you figure it out in your own mind. And then your neighbors won't be afraid of you, so they can say no. And then you can form a proper sheriff's posse and a proper grand jury and start executing American common law and restore peace and prosperity for the next generation, even for our generation.
Yeah, there's definitely I think things that can be done in all manners that could reshape things.
The election. Have you seen all the grammar requests that Spencer Cox and everybody else is hiding for Spencer Cox this week?
I haven't. I'm not too in tune with that.
Gotcha. Send me your email, sir, and I will forward you that information. As a law enforcement, you need to be aware of the biggest criminal. Allegedly! It's just kind of odd when they start hiding grammar. I mean, they're going out of their way to hide. Not hide, they're just saying, we're not going to give you that information. But you have to. No, we're closed. What's your email, sir?
Sorry, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. What is your email?
Yeah, my email, so it's my first initial S as in Skylar. Then my last name, which is Talbot. It's T as in Tom, A, L, B as in boy, O, T as in Tom, at summitcountyutah.gov.
Summit County, Utah. S. Talbot at summitcounty.gov.
Correct.
All right, copy that. I will
Awesome.
Send you some information.
All right, sounds good. Good talking to you, Jared.
You bet. Thanks for calling me back.
Sure thing.
You bet.
Bye.
Where did it go?